Hello, and welcome to FinInvest Niger. My name is Tom Princeville. I'm a certified securities investment and support specialist, and I've been investing in the Nigerian stock market for the past 20 years. Before I go into the presentation proper, I would like to highlight the fact that market participants are broadly categorized into three. You have the top 5%, the middle 15%, and the lower 20%. The top 5% are doing extremely well, and then the middle 15% are following closely the top 5%, making it 20%, and the lower 80%, unfortunately, are struggling when it comes to investing because of the lack of adequate knowledge, skills, the capability, and the experience to be able to generate, considerable, stellar, remarkable returns from the market. So my heart desire actually to reach out to the lower 80%, those in that category who are having difficulty in investing and are considering even giving up, on investing because the level of losses has sustained so far, or the inability to actually generate sufficient gains, profit to keep them motivated when it comes to investing. If you're in that category, please try and contact me, on this line. You can WhatsApp me. Let's see how we can come together to help you, to be able to optimize your portfolio and for better returns. It involves rebalancing, it involves portfolio management, as the case may be. Please, let's see how we can help ourselves out. Thank you very much. And please, we want to look at this particular analysis here of FCMB Group Plc, FCMB Group Plc, or FCMB Bank, as the case may be. And we want to use the available result, which is the full year result, not yet the audited result, but this can still serve our purpose, actually. So we want to start with the company's revenue. All right, the company generated a revenue of 794.430 billion, 794.430 billion naira in the full year to 2024, as against 1.127 billion naira, 1.127 trillion naira in the full year 2025, representing, an increase, a percentage increase of 41.86%. 41.86% was the increment in revenue, between 2024 and 2025. We now want to examine the company's gross profit. The company was able to generate a gross profit of 225.300 billion, 225.300 billion, as against 502.887 billion, 502.887 billion naira. This gives you a massive percentage increase of 123.20%, 123.20%. That's quite remarkable indeed. So for the operating profit, the company was able to generate 112.119 billion, 112.119 billion, as against 200.153 billion naira in the year 2025, giving us a percentage increase of 78.52%. 78.52% was the increase in operating profit. Okay, let's now consider the company's the bank's profit before tax. For the profit before tax, the bank was able to generate an increase of 79.56%, 79.56%, from 111.895 billion, 111.895 billion to 200.912 billion, 200.912 billion naira. That is as per the profit before tax. We now come to the profit after tax, and for the profit after tax, the company, recorded an increase, from 73.337 billion, 73.337 billion to 176.908 billion. 176.908 billion naira, in the year 2025. This gives us an increment of 141.22%. That's the profit after tax, doubled. The figure here actually, went by times two, more than times two. Then for the total comprehensive income, the company was able to generate an income of 103.792 billion, 103.792 billion, as against 141.048 billion naira. Okay, giving us a percentage increase of 35.89%. 35.89%. When it comes to the company's earnings per share, the earnings per share here is a very, very important parameter entry in our analysis here. The earnings per share grew by 60.68%, 60.98%, from 2 naira 46 kobo, 2 naira 46 kobo to 3 naira 96 kobo, 2 naira 46 kobo to 3 naira 96 kobo, giving us an increment of 60.98%. So for the share price here, the current share price of the bank is 13 naira 50 kobo, 13 naira 50 kobo, compared to 8 naira 50 kobo in the year 2024. All right, that gives us an increment of 58.82%, 58.82%. So we are through with this section, of our analysis. Now I want to concentrate on the cash flow statement as well as on the balance sheet. The cash flow statement as well as the company's balance sheet. So we start with the shares outstanding. The company has a share outstanding of 42.77 billion. That's the number of shares outstanding. And then the market capitalization here is 562 billion naira, about half a trillion naira. 562 billion naira is the market capitalization. And how do we arrive at this? We simply multiply the shares outstanding by the company's share price. So 1350 kobo multiplied by 42.77 billion will give you 562 billion naira. Now, for the company's equity, the equity here simply means the difference between the company's total assets, from its total liabilities. When you subtract the two items, you are going to arrive at 823.4 billion naira. 823.4 billion naira is inching towards a trillion naira. So the company has a very strong balance sheet. FCMB here Group has a fortress balance sheet. Then for the equity per share, you simply divide the equity, by the number of shares outstanding, and that will give you 19 naira 25 kobo. 19 naira 25 kobo, and this figure here is known as the company's book value. All right, so the book value on its own, though important, but it's not all that significant until you compare it with the share price. All right, the share price here is 13 naira 50 kobo. You discover that this price here is below the company's book value, which tells you that the company is cheap. Whenever a company's share price is below its book value, the company is considered cheap. Is what is called a value investment, or a value investing candidate. Now, for the cash positions here, cash at hand, cash in the bank, and cash equivalent, the company has 1.300 trillion naira. 1.3 trillion naira is the company's cash position. And then we'll come to its PE ratio. PE ratio here has to do with the price all over the earnings ratio. You divide the company's share price, which is 13 naira 50 kobo, by its earning, which is 3 naira 96 kobo. The ratio or the outcome is 3.41. 3.41 is the company's PE ratio. The company actually is cheap, when you compare it with other banks in the banking sector. And not only that, it's telling you that for every 1 naira in earnings generated by the company, you are paying 3 naira, for 3 naira 41 kobo, which is not all that expensive. Okay, so this company actually could be a candidate for your portfolio if you so wish. Although what we are doing here is essentially academic in nature, it's for entertainment. But if you so wish, you could consider this company. You could include it in your investment portfolio. You could allocate maybe, let's say, 0.5%, 0.5%, of your total asset, your total, fund under management to this particular, company, FCMB Group. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please like this video, and don't forget to also share to people in your community, because my heart desire, my intention, my goal is to reach out to 1 million Nigerians, with this narrative about investing in the Nigerian stock market. And I'm relying completely on you, because on my own I cannot really accomplish this. Depending on you to help me to share this video to people in your community, both home and abroad, so that people will get to have the knowledge of investing and escape the bottom 80%, and then you could find yourself in the middle 15%. Many years back, I started in the bottom 80%, but now by God's grace I'm no longer in the bottom 80%. So that is why you need knowledge, you need some support, you need assistance, you need a guide to help you to be able to escape the bottom 80%, and then get promoted to the top, the middle 15%, as the case may be. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to also watch other videos in my channel as well. They are designed to help you to become a better investor.